The Three Little Men in the Woods. A man's wife had died, and he was undecided whether he should take another wife or not. Finally, he took off his boot, which had a hole in the sole, and said to his daughter, his only child, "Take this boot, put it on the floor, there is a big nail, hang it up, then fetch water and pour it in. If it holds the water, I will take another wife, but if it runs through, I will let it be." The girl did as she was told, but the water closed up the hole in the boot and it became full to the top. The man checked it himself, then said, "I must take another wife." He went and courted a widow. She also brought a daughter from her first marriage into the house, and when she saw that her stepchild was beautiful and loved by everyone, but her own daughter was ugly, she became jealous, mistreated her stepchild and thought only of how to torment her. One day, in the middle of winter, when the snow was high, she sewed a dress from paper, and when it was finished, she called the stepchild and said, "I feel like eating strawberries, put on the dress, go to the woods and bring me a basket full, and do not come back until it is full." The girl wept bitterly and said, "Strawberries do not grow in the woods in winter, and even if they were, the snow covers them, how can I find them? And it's so cold outside that my breath freezes, how can I go in this paper dress? The wind will blow through it, and the thorns will tear it off me." "Do not say another word," said the mother, "and go out immediately and find the strawberries," but in her jealous heart, she thought the girl would freeze to death outside and never come back, which was why she made her wear the thin paper dress. The girl obeyed, put on the paper dress, went into the woods, but there was nothing but snow and not a green blade of grass to be seen. She kept going, and when she came to the middle of the woods, she saw a small house with three little men looking out of it. She greeted them and, because she greeted them so nicely, they asked what she was doing in the woods in a paper dress during winter. "Oh," she said, "I have to find a basket full of strawberries and cannot come home until I bring it back." The three men then said, "Go behind our house and clear away the snow, they had protection there and grew, there you will find plenty." The girl thanked them and did as they had told her. While she was clearing the snow and picking the strawberries, the three little men talked among themselves, saying, "What shall we give her since she has been so kind to us and is so beautiful?" One said, "I will give her the gift of becoming even more beautiful." The other said, "I will give her the gift that golden ducats fall from her mouth when she speaks," and the third said, "I will give her the gift that a king comes and marries her." When the girl came back out, they gave her all of these gifts, and as she tried to thank them, ducats were already falling from her mouth. She went home and the stepmother was amazed by the strawberries she brought back, but was even more surprised when she saw the ducats falling from the girl's mouth. It did not take long before a king came and took her away, making her his wife. But the mother thought that she wanted to bring such great happiness to her daughter as well. So she sewed a magnificent fur coat for her and told her to go into the woods and ask the little men for a gift. But the men saw that she had a wicked heart and instead of good gifts, they gave her bad ones. The first was that she would freeze in her fur coat as if it were made of paper, the second was that she would become more and more unpleasant every day, and the third was that she would die an unfortunate death. Shivering with cold, she came home and told her mother what had happened, and when she saw that the curses of the three men were beginning to come true, she only thought about how she wanted to get revenge. She went to her stepdaughter, the queen, and acted friendly and loving, and she was well received and given her own place to live. Soon after, the queen gave birth to a prince, and when she was alone at night, sick and weak, the wicked woman lifted her and her daughter out of bed and carried them out to the river and threw them in. The next morning, they told the king that the queen had died during the night. In the following night, the kitchen boy saw a duck swimming through the gutter into the kitchen. She asked, "What are my guests doing?" He replied, "They're fast asleep." "What is my little child doing?" "It's sleeping soundly in its cradle." Then she went up in the form of the queen, gave the baby a drink, nursed it, made its cradle, covered it, and swam away as a duck again in the morning. She came for another night, but on the third she said to the kitchen boy, "Go to the king and tell him to swing his sword 3 times over me on the threshold." The kitchen boy ran and told the king, and when the king swung his sword 3 times, the queen stood before him alive again. The treachery of the stepmother and her daughter was revealed, and they were given to the wild animals in the forest to be eaten.